Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Friday 13th Metal YouTube reviews. Today we're going to be talking about the new album by Swedish progressive metal band Seventh Wonder, who are about to release their new album called The Testament, released on the 10th of June through Frontier Records. Now the band were formed in 2000 in Sweden by bass guitarist Andreas Blomqvist, guitarist Johan and drummer Johnny Sandin. And in 2001 the band released two demos. 2001 was a self-titled demo, and the second one was in 2003, which was titled Temple in the Storm. Now it wasn't long before the band released their first album in 2005 through Finnish label Line Music. Now this album also featured the first singer called Andy. The album's called Becoming, released on Line Music, a Finnish label. Now Line Music are a really good label. Back in the day they had some fantastic bands such as Suncage, Lalu. The album contained 8 songs and some really fantastic songs for a debut on this album, such as The Damned, Temple of the Storm, Blind in My Eyes, The Secret, all are really good songs, and if you've got the first album you'll know just how good this album is. Now the band released their second album in 2006 called Waiting in the Wings. This also featured new singer Tommy Kerevic, who was frontman for Camelot. Now having Tommy on board, he's a fantastic singer. As you'll know, been with Camelot for a few years now, Florida's symphonic speed metal band, power metal band, whatever you want to call them. But this second album, Waiting in the Wings, really good album, some fantastic singing, some great playing, and you could see how much the band had progressed from the first album. The album's called Becoming. Now I really like the second album, Waiting in the Wings. There's some really good songs on there like Tainted the Sky, Waiting in the Wings, Not an Angel and Devil Inc. Some really good catchy songs here. You could see how much the band have progressed. Yeah, the band had some elements of Dream Theater. I mean, what progressive metal bands these days don't have elements of Fates Warning or Dream Theater? No, the album Waiting in the Wings kind of also reminded me of other bands like Lalu, Lord of Mushrooms, another band that was signed to Line Music. Also in the music I can also hit bands like Sieges Even, another great band. Now there's one thing I can say about Seventh Wonder. They're very, very talented musicians that come up with some great ideas. For all the albums that they've released, there's some really catchy songs. It's really hard to play progressive rock, as we know, but they're a really, really good band at what they do, playing progressive rock and a lot of progressive metal. Now the band also recorded 2 more albums for Line Music, which were Mercy Falls, The Great Escape, before the band signed to Frontier Records in 2018 with their first album, Tara. The band have also had success in touring, especially playing in places like the Prog Power. Now other bands that come to mind, especially when I hear this new album, The Testament, I also hear bands like Redemption, which is members of Fates Warning. Really, really good band. If you haven't heard Redemption, you really need to check them out. I can also hear other hints in this band's music, such as Evergrey, Dreamscape, another great band from Germany. Now the new album, The Testament, also features new drummer Stefan Nürnberg, who used to be in the band called Line Share. Most of you might know the band. They've released some really good albums back in the day on Century Media. So the new album, The Testament, contains 9 songs. It's a fantastic album. It's another step up ladder for the band. As we all know, the band have really progressed through each and every album. And you can see why Tommy actually joined Camelot. He's a fantastic singer. A great replacement for Roy, who went back to Conception. So for Tommy to be involved in 2 bands is a real achievement for him. He's doing a really fantastic job for both bands. Very different in style slightly, but you can see the resemblance from the Camelot through Seventh Wonder and vice versa. Now I'm not sure where the album was produced or recorded by, but it's a fantastic album. It's got a really solid sound on the drums, really great guitar playing, some clever catchy riffs, some fantastic singing and some great keyboard work. Now the first song on the album is called Warriors. This is very much like Conception and Camelot. Don't get me wrong, 2 fantastic bands, and it's hard not to say that the album sounds a bit like Camelot considering Tommy's in Camelot. But there's some really good elements on this song. It's a really good song, really well thought out and fantastically put together. Also, Tommy does a fantastic job on the vocals, as always. Now the next song is called Alight. That kind of reminds me of Conception and also the band Redemption. So if you like Redemption's music, you're really going to like this song. Now the next song is called I Carry the Blame. This kind of reminds me of a Camelot ballad, maybe a bit of Conception, and also the band Eden's Curse. Now I've noticed one thing about Seventh Wonder. There's a lot of AOR hard rock in their music as well as progressive metal, which really works well. This song, I Carry the Blame, is a fantastic semi-ballad. It's really well worth checking out. Fantastic song indeed. Now the next song is called Reflections, which is an instrumental. Kind of reminds me of Symphony X Dream Theater. If you like this, the technicality of both bands and the well-established guitar playing, then you're going to really enjoy this song. Next is a song called The Red River. Yet again, very much influenced by Conception, also Evergrey and Camelot. A really catchy song, some fantastic playing. I like the way it's been put together, I like the guitar playing. It's a really catchy song, and if you're a fan of progressive metal, as you are, or you're a musician, you'll appreciate how good this song is. Now the next song is entitled The Invincible. This kind of reminds me of Italian band DGM, a little bit of Labyrinth, as well as, like I said before, Camelot influences, which is not going to be able to get away off because Tommy's involved with the band. But it's a really good song. So it's a really good song, and it's called The Invincible. So if you're a fan of DGM, then you're pretty much going to like this. The next song is called The Mind Killer, which is a really good song. It kind of reminds me of Symphony X, also DGM. A little bit of like Conception, but it's really a catchy tune, really progressive, really put together. The next song is called Mind Killer. This kind of reminds me of DGM, maybe a Swedish band called Cloudscape, as well as Symphony X. So you're getting the picture. This is a really good progressive band from Sweden. Fantastic album, and if you've got the previous albums, then you'll know how well the band have progressed through all the albums. Now the next song is called Under a Clear Blue Sky. This kind of reminds me of Eden's Curse, another great band. So if you like Eden's Curse music, you're really going to enjoy this. It's a really long song, it's nearly 9 minutes long, some catchy riffs, great melody hooks, and some fantastic singing. Now the last song on the album's called Elegy, which is a symphonic ballad, just keyboards and Tommy's vocals and some vocal harmonies. It's a fantastic song, a great outro for the album, a really good album. I really like this album, it's really well put together. I'm going to give this album 4.5 out of 5. This is released on Frontiers Albums, released on June the 10th, and the album's called The Testament. Really worth checking out. So if you're a fan of Camelot, Conception, DGM, progressive fans, you're going to love this. Check it out.